Well, the shocking thing I noticed about Charlie's death was how fast the spirit leaves the body. I mean, it was instant. As soon as that spinal cord severed from his brain, his lights went out. His eyes looked like shoot buttons. His arms looked like the arms of this little plastic doll I had as a little girl. And you just wonder, like, where did the spirit go? Where did it go? Is it up above him? Can he see everybody running? It's an amazing thing, something I'd like to know more about. I wonder if, like, neuroscientists could tell us something. The other thing that's been on my mind is his little girl, and seeing all those videos of him just with a glowing face when he looks at her and his wife and tells the little girl about the story about how he met her mother. How in the world is Erika ever going to tell? At what point will it be a good time to tell that little girl what really happened to her dad, and that he wasn't exactly on a work trip with Jesus? Like she said, there was a little more involved. I think about that often because she's going to have to tell that child pretty quick, because the kid is going to hear things and see things in social media. Oh, the whole thing is such a mess. There's not a lot of good answers, and I just really feel for that mother. I really, really feel for Erika Kirk. She really lost a winner. She had such perfect love with Charlie, that the way they looked at each other, and it didn't last long enough. I've been thinking of that saying, "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." But man, that's painful. A few years ago, I had a friend who was 87 years old, and she had just lost her husband at 43 years. And she'd had cancer. They couldn't have any kids. And so they had been alone all that time, and had built the house together that she lived in. And I spent the first Christmas, since he died, with her, and she was broken. She was in misery. And I remember on Christmas Eve, I was thinking, you know what? I may not have anybody to love, but I don't have anybody to lose either. Because once you lose a guy like Charlie Kirk, you're not going to find another. I mean, no one could compare to him. I've been pretty much in a stupor over it, like most of the rest of the world. And I wasn't even really a fan of his. His method really didn't resonate with me, but I recognized that it resonated with the younger generation and how much good he did for them. And God bless him. I'll tell you, it makes looking rich and famous like not such a great deal. You know what I'm talking about, because of the risk. The risk. And you wonder why Donald Trump was spared and not Charlie. Not that I wanted Donald to be hurt. You just wonder about the way things pan out, you know. I think it is important at this time in the world to get right spiritually, to not worry so much about materialism, but get right spiritually. I've been thinking about running for mayor in this town, and since I started talking about it, the police have been harassing me. And I think my camera is slipping. I think they want me to go away because they have this cabal of homeless services in 4 large buildings, and they've got things laid out the way they want it. I've seen some crooked things going on, and the editor of Escondido Times Advocate won't publish my letters. And I was a professional journalist for years. I wrote for San Diego Reader, and the owner of that paper didn't have any problems publishing my letters. I think the Escondido Times Advocate doesn't want to do it because the editor wants the current mayor to win. I think his father-in-law and the editor and one of the writers for the newspaper are all friends, and they just don't want me in the picture. So I have to spend some of my own money for the filing fees. I don't know a lot of people here in Escondido anymore. They live in Allied Gardens in Rancho Bernardo. And I just feel surrounded by evil here. I just feel it. If you watched my video a few days ago called The Shift and a Spiritual Awakening, I think that I was kind of predicting what was going to happen to Charlie, and a spiritual awakening afterwards. And the spiritual warfare taking place now is just getting to be too much. I'd really like to move to Arizona, but that comes with its own problems. I know where everything is here. I know the people down at the store, and there I know absolutely nobody. So something tells me it's a big mistake, but I'm a little bit nervous about pushing the thing to run for mayor, considering what happened to Charlie, because every time I leave a city council meeting, police follow me home. And I had one come here not too long ago because I complained that we needed a sign out here to say no overnight camping, because these dirty, run-down RVs were parked in my neighborhood, and people would leave like a white bucket out front, or they'd have pit bulls not on leash, that kind of stuff. And I didn't want it around anymore. And instead of getting a sign, I got a visit from a police officer who was very polite, but he said, "You're not getting a sign. You're not getting a patrol. You are getting a patrol. And you're not getting a sign. You are getting a patrol. And overnight parking isn't illegal." This is what the cops always say. They don't say, "This is legal. This is illegal." They say, "It isn't illegal." Who talks like that? It's nuts. So I'd like to get the hell out of here. I'm kind of spooked. I think something has gone on with this murder of Charlie, because why in the world was his security on the ground with him when straight ahead there was a rooftop? And we all know the rooftop in Butler didn't go so well for President Trump. Why was security looking into what was on the rooftop? That isn't good. And then how this kid really didn't have military training or anything managed to scope out where the great place would be to do the shooting. How did he know where Charlie was going to be sitting under the tent? And how did he know he was going to be able to get up on top of that building and get down and get away? He didn't have the gun on him when he went down. I don't know. I just think it's kind of fishy, if you ask me. I think probably the globalists are behind it, because they didn't want Charlie to cause the younger generation to be conservative. They wanted to be nut job left-wing lunatics who will go along with just about anything they dream up, give up their freedoms, throw themselves into slavery, be fine with them. So he had to be taken out. He had too much influence. And, oh, what a world we live in. Reminds me a lot of the 60s when JFK was assassinated. I don't think even then we were in the kind of trouble we're in today. I think we're into something deep. And those are just my thoughts for what they're worth. Hope you have a great day. Or evening. It's very late right now. It's 11 o'clock. So, good night.